Shut up and sit down.
Everyone, and welcome back to Sports Weekly. I'm Paul Brecht.
And I'm Brian Barnes. The Ithaca Bombers football team took on the RPI Engineers this past Saturday at RPI after losing their first game of the season to ranked Union. Ithaca looked to keep their NCAA playoff hopes alive. Let's head over to RPI to see the highlights. So first play, 10:45 in the first, Mark Meisen gets a 26-yard pass from George Marinopoulos for the opening score, 7-0 RPI to start out this game. 6:19 in the first, another pass to Mark Meisen. It's only going to be for just 1 yard short of a touchdown, but that next play would be a touchdown. Then the next play in the second quarter, 5:28, George Marinopoulos pass to Dennis DeSico for 32 yards. A nice play right on the sideline there. So now 24-0 RPI, 3rd and 3. Bryce Todd sacked for a loss of 2 by Miles Haynes there. So now 27 seconds left for Ithaca. Now Joe Giminario's pass is intercepted by Joe Japala and returned only for 1 yard. So another interception for Joe Giminario. And then soon after that, with 5 seconds left, another touchdown pass for George Marinopoulos, 31-0 RPI. Now Joe Giminario loses another ball there, and it's recovered by Joe, but another loss there. So a completed pass to Will Gladney for his first touchdown of the day, and he tied the record for the most touchdowns in a single season. Tied for the most touchdowns in a career for an Ithaca Bombers, and now that would be the end score, with 38-12 being the end score for the Ithaca Bombers, losing their second straight to the RPI Engineers as they head into Corsica.
Moving on to the East Hill now, the Cornell football team played host to 12th-ranked Princeton last Friday for a mid-season Ivy League matchup. Cornell would come into the game looking to pick up the team's 3rd win of the season. Starting things off early, second quarter, 2nd and goal, Princeton hands the ball. Okay. Cornell would come into the game looking to pick up the team's 3rd win of the season. A stop there in the first quarter on 4th down, and Princeton would take over. Handoff now to Colin Eady, only a 1 yard gain. Exciting for Cornell getting a stop on 4th down. Early second quarter, 2nd and goal, Princeton hands the ball off to Colin Eady, who cuts left and punches it in to give Princeton a 7-0 lead. Jumping ahead, final minute of the first half now, Princeton senior quarterback Kevin Davidson takes the snap, rolls out to his right, and finds Andrew Griffin in the back of the end zone to put the Tigers up 2 scores. Moving ahead to the second half now, Cornell trying to make it a game. Cornell's quarterback Richie Kenny would call his own number and sneak it into the end zone to put Cornell on the board, 14-7 now. The Tigers would answer right back on their next drive, though. Again, the handoff to Eady. After showing a little bit of patience, he would burst into the end zone, putting the Tigers back up 2 scores. Cornell tries to get back into it as safety Jelani Taylor comes up with an incredible interception, keeping his feet in bounds, but the Cornell offense was unable to capitalize. Here's another look at it. Tip drill. Gets 1 foot in. That's all you need in college. Cornell's offense couldn't capitalize. Their defense trying to pick them back up again. Here a handoff, and Princeton's first lost fumble of the season recovered here by Cornell. Cornell looking for anything, but Princeton's defense would hold strong as they hold on the road to beat Cornell 21-7. In other football news, Corsica's right around the corner. Ticket sales are projecting the highest attendance numbers in the history of Division III football, having sold upwards of 39,000 tickets thus far. The previous attendance record was 37,355 back in 2017 for a game at home of the Minnesota Twins Target Field. While this number is impressive, Ithaca Brass are hanging their hat on a number that is yet to come to fruition. The expectation to exceed the attendance record is based on ticket sales, but since the event has yet to happen, there's no guarantee of that record being broken. Whether the Bombers break the record or not, it should be a wonderful event for the students, their families, and the assorted alumni who will be attending.
Now let's take a look at the Ithaca softball team as they have a new head coach who's taking the helm for an IC legend. Here is Sports Weekly's own Nick Niles with more.
As fall sports come to a close and snow rains down on Kostrinsky Field in South Hill, the Ithaca College softball team is preparing for a brand new season. However, once the snow melts and the first pitch is thrown, a new era will be ushered into Ithaca softball as longtime coach Deb Pelosi retired after 31 seasons. Replacing her is former assistant coach and Bombers Hall of Fame member Hannah Quintana.
Coach Quintana was a tremendous player while she was here, Hall of Fame player. She was a player of the year when she was a catcher for the Bombers. She had a great career as a coach at Skidmore, and I think she was a great fit for Ithaca. You know, people that work here and or played here, went to school here, they understand what Ithaca College is, and she's just that type of person who played here. She understands what the program is, what it means to her. I'm sure it's a little bit more than an outsider who was in the running, and I think it just holds a special place to someone who played and spent their whole time here.
Yeah, honestly, this is my dream job. It's been my dream job since I was 18. To get to come back here previously and be an assistant coach was awesome. To be side by side with a Hall of Fame coach that had built this program up. I really had a great front row view of what made the program tick. And then I got to go and spend 6 years as a head coach and find my own coaching voice. And when this job opened up, I mean, this is the dream. So to come and take over the legacy that Deb has created, it's really just everything I've ever wanted it to be.
Having played under Coach Palazzi here at IC as a Bomber, it'll be interesting to see just how similar Coach Quintana's coaching style will be.
I think just the culture will probably change a little bit just because it's been the same coach for so long that she'll still keep those same values that have been around, but I think she'll still want to instill her own style, her own culture on the team. And I think
From South Hill, I'm Nick Niles, Sports Weekly.
We've got a lot more coming up here on Sports Weekly. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Sports Weekly. I'm Charlie Brooks.
And I'm Paul Brecht. The Ithaca College men's soccer team received a welcome surprise on Tuesday night as the team was selected to the NCAA Division III tournament and will be taking on the Keene State Owls this coming Saturday in New Hampshire. The Bombers were on the bubble for a playoff berth after their 5th loss of the season, which came to Clarkson in the Liberty League Championships. If the team is victorious, they'll play the winner of Amherst and Thomas College in the next round.
Ithaca men's soccer closed out the regular season schedule as they took on number 8 RPI. 10 minutes into the game, Ithaca has a chance after a failed clearance, but the shot goes right at the RPI goalkeeper. RPI then get their first chance, but after some nice passing, the half-volley shot attempt will go wide. It will not challenge goalkeeper Max Lichtenstein for the Bombers. Now a great chance for the Bombers after some passing around. This ball will go find ahead of a Bombers attacker, but into the hands of the RPI goalie. The RPI goalie finished with 7 saves in the game. Late in the second half, RPI has another chance, but this shot will go way too wide. Again, not even bothering the goalkeeper. RPI had no shots on target the whole game. Now the Bombers have a chance on the other end, and after some great moves by Kevin Turry, he crosses the ball to Theo Scott, who puts it into the top left corner, his 7th goal of the season, and the Bombers win, taking down the number 8 team and finish the regular season with a win over RPI.
The Ithaca College women's soccer team played host to 22nd ranked RIT on Wednesday for a late season Liberty League matchup, the Bombers' final home game of the season. This one would get going quickly as the visiting Tigers would score early on thanks to striker Abby Saya bending in an early corner kick and giving the visiting Tigers a 1-0 lead not even 10 minutes into the match. Despite giving up an early goal, the Bombers would look to bounce back and tie things up. So, just a minute later, now, the Bombers moving the ball down the field. Ithaca's Ali Christman finds the ball at her feet and scorches one just wide right of the net. Now coming back the other way, A counter opportunity for RIT. Abby Sai would fire from just inside the 18, only to be turned away by Ithaca's keeper, Sarah Jakobski. Jakobski would finish with 5 saves in this one. Later on, first half, Ithaca working the ball down the field to Delaney Rutan. Rutan, after a couple of nice touches, strikes the ball as she goes down and pockets it into the back of the net to knot the match at 1-1. Ithaca's excited here. Top 25 team coming to their place, tie it up in the first half. No more action. They'd keep it scoreless the rest of the first half. Pushing ahead now to the second half, RIT with a good scoring opportunity down on the end line. They'll cross the ball into the middle to the 6, where Abby Saya would be waiting to put home her second goal of the day and what would end up being the game winner. RIT takes this one by a final of 2-1 and moves to 11-3-2. Ithaca moves to 9-6-1.
Intramural sports are a great way to stay active for students who aren't involved in varsity sports. Our very own Taylor Merritt went to the Hill Center to find out more about a particular option.
Ithaca College intramural program offers more than 13 activities for students to participate in. Players believe these activities are great assets to the college community.
When you're able to play with other kids from around campus, you know, you get to meet new friends, you get chemistry with your own friends, and it's just a time to hang out and play sports with everyone that you like to enjoy.
I would say that they add just like a sense of like challenge. Honestly, like I look forward to just like competing every week, and also just camaraderie and like trying to go for a W. Like it just feels good to take a W with your team and with your friends.
One intramural league that seems to draw in good and fun competition is 3v3 basketball.
I always grew up, basketball was my favorite sport, so it's my favorite thing to do, and we get to play with our friends. So.
I mean, I've been playing basketball like my whole life, so it's my favorite sport. So obviously, I'm going to look forward to an intramural basketball game more so than like handball or soccer or something. So that's why it's my favorite for sure.
While some players enjoy the extra spacing in 3v3, others prefer the traditional form of this sport.
I mean, every case 5v5 for me, absolutely. I mean, playing my whole life, like 5v5 running up and down is the most fun I ever had playing basketball, so.
I prefer 3v3, more space on the court. I also like 5v5, but I prefer the 3-on-3 aspect.
In Ithaca, I'm Taylor Merritt, Sports Weekly.
Coming up after the break, our own Brennan Miller gives us the inside scoop on IC men's basketball. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Sports Weekly. I'm Charlie Brooks.
And I'm Brian Barnes.
Cornell men's hockey faced off against the U.S. national team under 18s as they wrapped up their preseason schedule. Just 5 minutes into the game, Cornell gets pinned behind the net, but after some perfect passing, Max Andreev puts a shot into the top left corner for the 1-0 lead. That would be Andreev's only goal of the game for the Big Red as they go up 1-0. Now in the second period, both teams have a player in the penalty box as Morgan Barron finds Brennan Locke, who scores to make it 2-0 midway through the second period. Now into the third period, the puck stays in the offensive zone. Tristan Mullen places the shot into the top right corner. Cornell wins, and they will next face Michigan State to open the regular season in 1 week.
Cornell men's basketball battled upstate neighbor Binghamton University at home. There was some exciting plays in that one. Let's get into it. 16:42 early in the first half. Yarden Willis with a dunk right there. Early start there. 11-17 in the first. A nice layup there by Binghamton. 22-15 Cornell. 8:30 a jumper by Richard Cadwell. A jumper by Richard Cadwell. 25-19 Cornell. Josh Warren there with a good layup there for Cornell. Now 31-24 Cornell. And now 3:03 still left in the first half. Who else? Jimmy Boeheim there with a three-point shot. What else do you expect from a Boeheim? 1:55 left in the first half. A missed jumper there by Sam Simpson, but a rebound by Pierce Sayre. 35.5 seconds left there. A good dunk by Josh Warren, 45-35. Now we head into the second half. A good jumper there for Cornell's Terrence McBride, 45-40. Cornell, 15-48. A missed jumper by Pierce Sayre, but because it was blocked by Thurston McCready. Now 11:03, 54-43. Jordan Jones steals a layup there, 63-43. As he steals the layup right there and is able to get up there and gets there. As right there, the end score of this game would be 84-64 as Cornell will come out on top, winning their first game of the season. As this season, the Ithaca men's basketball team had a very promising core returning starters as well as a boost in talent from the underclassmen. Our own Brennan Miller has more.
Coming to college can be a huge step for any prospective student. That's no different for students stepping onto prestigious athletic programs like basketball here at IC.
Ithaca has had a great blend for academics and athletics as well. So I'm in the Park School right now, and I just heard really good things about the Park School and just communications as a whole.
But for these freshmen, academics aren't the only thing on their minds.
And then the basketball team as well was like a bonus. I liked the guys when I first came here. There was a good vibe around the team, so it just worked out.
Luckily, the team is built around strong senior leadership, including returning senior captain Riley Thompson and two more upperclassmen captains in Sebastian Alderete and Cooper Macklin.
We have a lot of experience, so I know like our three captains, Riley Thompson, Sebastian Alderete, and then Cooper Macklin, they kind of lead us to the right way, and we feel like we have a great thing going, and our culture is really good.
While the seniors are doing a good job of helping the team gel, that does limit playing time for a lot of the talented underclassmen.
I don't know how many minutes I'll see this year because we do have a loaded upper class. In high school, I was a leader of the team. I was the upperclassman playing my position. So it's different now, going back to the bottom of the totem pole.
With a balance of senior experience and underclassmen potential, this is a team that could look to make a deep run in the Liberty League. They were ranked #1 in this season's preseason poll. From the Hill Center Gym, I'm Brennan Miller, Sports Weekly.
One up-and-coming volleyball program over the past several years has been right here at Ithaca College. But now in the East Hill, another program is competing for titles, historic titles. More on that after the break. Stay with us.
Welcome back to Sports Weekly. I'm Brian Barnes.
And I'm Paul Brecht.
Sports Weekly's Nick Friend spent some time with the Cornell volleyball program this week learning the ins and outs of the team's early season success. Let's take a look.
Cornell Volleyball, a program on the rise that was ranked 3rd in the Ivy League preseason polls. They are projected as the biggest contender to two programs that have won their league's title for 9 consecutive years. Now, halfway through the year, they are tied for first with perennial powerhouses Princeton and Yale.
It's been so exciting. All the girls have been so welcoming, integrating us freshmen into the lineup, into practice.
Even though Cornell is in their first contention for an Ivy League banner since 2006, Coach Vandenberg says she's not surprised by the team's results.
I knew we had, I don't know if I expected it or if I was just hoping for it, because I knew physically and with the players we had, we could do it.
Part of Cornell's success has been the mental aspect of the sport. The team has worked closely with Ithaca College professor Dr. George Shelley on becoming comfortable with unfamiliar experiences.
You know, we haven't been in this position before where we're the team people are chasing, so it's a total different mentality.
Now Coach Vandenberg and Cornell will turn to a very balanced and even attack, with a sophomore leading the way.
It's pretty awesome in the gym and just like out in games, seeing all the weapons that we have just at our disposal.
With a monumental second half of the schedule, Cornell says it's focused one game at a time. Before departing for Columbia to start the second half of their season, Coach Vandenberg, who her players describe as extremely competitive, reminded herself of one last thing Dr. Shelley had taught her.
He tells me to think about my dogs when I'm stressed out, so I do it. Yeah. Aw, okay, better.
In Ithaca, Nick Friend, Sports Weekly.
All right, thanks, Nick. Coming up after the break, we got a new segment here on Sports Weekly. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Sports Weekly. I'm Brian Barnes.
And I'm Paul Brecht.
Now it's time for the new segment on Sports Weekly, Stars of the Week. Our first star of the week is Ithaca Volleyball's lone senior, Caitlin Floyd, with a season-high 70 assists. She helped keep her team alive in the Liberty League Championship before losing to Clarkson. Heading into the NCAA tournament, she's totaled over 1,000 assists for the third straight season, surpassed the 4,000 assist mark, as now she stands alone in third place in program history.
And for our other star of the week, it's IC's All-American wide receiver Will Gladney. In last Saturday's loss on the road to RPI, Gladney racked up 11 catches for 121 yards and hauled in 2 more touchdowns, giving him 14 total on the season. There's a reason he was a preseason All-American, and he's continued to prove that each Saturday. All right, that'll do it for us here on Sports Weekly.
That will. We got a lot of big things coming up. Again, Cortica coming up this weekend. It's gonna be a great thing. So that's all from us here at Sports Weekly. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you again next week.